Hi, Spencer Cheap Pops, you're on the air.
Silicon Steve Valley, Vladi Dottie, we are here and we are High Spots and Cheap Pops, talking the very best of professional wrestling in the world today.
You know, you got Jay White and Darby Allin. I'm super excited about that. I'm glad Jay White finally came out. Yeah, he was pretty much a heel in it. He was getting booed a lot. He did drop Atlanta like 5 times, try to get some pops, it seems. But, you know, you see Jay White comes out and kind of tries to make fun of Darby for needing Sting, he's a little puppy and all that kind of stuff. Actually bringing up the fact that he took that bump, which actually I want to get into before we get into the whole thing there. But Darby Allin took a lot of heat this past week. Jonathan Coachman, because who gives a fuck what he thinks? But Jonathan Coachman tweeted, as many other wrestling fans were tweeting, saying that Darby Allin's bump is irresponsible and Tony Khan shouldn't let him do it, blah, da, 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 da. And look, Darby Allin does a lot of stupid, crazy shit. Always did, seemingly always will. He's about to climb Mount Everest. But I don't think everyone saying that he shouldn't do it is going to help, because I'm sure he's had some of the biggest names in the history of the business tell him he needs to calm down. He doesn't care. It's not how he lives. So, and I don't think we should tell anyone how to do their business. The only thing is you worry about is him encouraging other people to do it. But I have a question for you. You and I.
No, I got see with that. That's where I disagree. Here's what we got to worry about. This is your employee, and he did a bump where he could easily paralyze himself, and he's looking to up the ante pretty quickly as he goes. So at what point, there's going to be a point where you're going to be like, you know what, Darby, you're going to die if you do this on our broadcast. And we really don't want that. We want you to live a long life. We don't want you to die on period, but let alone during the show. You know, like it's just not a good, it's just not human. It's not good business. And again, this is what happens when you allow talent to go unbridled. That's my 2 cents with that, man. It's not even just other people replicating it. He's upping the ante, and he keeps on raising the bar on himself, and it's at a speed where it's like, whoa, when I saw that bump, if he hit those chairs in any sort of way, he could have really done some damage to himself there.
He did do damage to himself. I don't know how many stitches and gash in his...
Yeah. But I'm talking like skeletal versus, you know...
Oh, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, the cuts and stuff from the glass itself.
Did you feel the same way when we saw Mick Foley do what he did? Did you feel the same way when New Jack used to do it, or anybody else in ECW? I don't remember you being so... Were you critical of that at the time?
When I saw Mick Foley's, I thought that was a game changer for me. And I was like almost horrified the first 1 or 2 times I saw it. And I didn't see it live. I saw it like afterward, and that I was like, holy shit, like he could have died. You know, so is it incredible? Does it live in the lore of wrestling? Yeah, he walked away from it. But we're getting to a point with, especially Darby, he's doing stuff where eventually they're going to have to say, no, Darby, we're not going to even let you go out tonight if you don't play by these rules. Sorry. Like, they got to draw a line in their own sand there.
Well, it was a slippery slope. So there we go. Because, I mean, again, you know, New Jack was... I know you didn't love New Jack. I mean, he wasn't the best person in the world, I guess. But it's just funny to me. I see a lot of people that are reacting. Not you, obviously. If you were already turned off by that kind of thing, that's awesome. But there's a lot of people who hold Mick Foley in this great esteem, and that bump is one of the biggest reasons as to why his legend grew. Right or wrong, that's one of the reasons. And in fact, it would probably that or the Mr. Sacco bit are the 2 things he's most known for.
Ironically enough.
Yeah. Thank God for Mr. Sacco, so he had to stop jumping off of crazy things, you know. But it just seems like I don't think people got stopped, but the idea here is that bump was ridiculous. Though you didn't have to do glass and chairs. You could have done a table, and it would have been okay with a table, right?
I would say, yeah, it's like it's safer, if you will. He's done it more times, okay, and it's like at least there's more like staggered breaking his fall, if you will. But yeah, this thing, man, he's starting to get into his own category where And I got to say this, I admire Darby.
I love him. Love him to death.
He's a gutsy guy. And he's looking to entertain and push his own boundaries. I get it. However, I don't want to see him die.
I agree with you, and I hope he's okay, and I really hope he's going to be okay up in Mount Everest. That is not something that is easy to do for all of you. I'm sure you
don't worry about this guy. Yeah, it's like not only is he doing these crazy bumps, he's like, I'm going to go climb Everest, and it's like,
yeah, he's a different cat, man, and he's living his life by his own rules, and far be it for me to tell him how to live his life. Now, you got a different idea, which is a good one, that Tony needs to protect his investment. It's one of his biggest stars. I don't need you dying. I don't need to have my company known as the company that let you kill yourself. In fact, in my moment of the Valley, I even said Darby seemingly tried to commit suicide because it was the most ridiculous bump you could ever see. It's so much editing, and then my computer crashed. I'll get it out another time. But it is on our podcast on Spotify, of course, Apple, Amazon Music, anywhere you get your best and most favorite podcasts, you will find High Spots and Cheap Pops, Vladi, Dottie, Silicon Steve Valley. Wow. And AEW is cooking with grease. Other great things that happen in this show. Well, we go back to Jay White. Jay White and Darby Allin had a really good promo battle setting up their match, and where you would assume, you don't have to write him off TV, though, because he's climbing Mount Everest. He told everybody he's climbing Mount Everest. So it's not like you have to write him off TV so he can go climb Mount Everest. But you do think that the Bullet Club Gold will give him a little bit of a beatdown or something might happen. But I see Jay White winning that, and hopefully Jay White starts actually being in the singles division again, because he's one of your top stars that you haven't even built up yet. And to Darby, Darby echoed what you had said. What have you done since you got here?
And when he said it, I was like, you know what? He's right. And it's unfortunate. It was Darby's truth, and I got to say, I agreed with it.
I think everyone agrees with it. I mean, you even mentioned it.
Yeah.
I've been a little bit happier with it, because the fact is he did have a pay-per-view main event when he just walked into the company. And he was given a spotlight, because that's what Tony does. He always, I got a big free agent. Let me work him against the champion and have him lose all his momentum. So it's something that Tony Khan has done pretty consistently. Hopefully he doesn't do this here with Okada, which I think he won't. I think he's going to be the one that takes out Kingston. And then, Mercedes Moné will be there next week in Boston. So it's just an incredible dynamite. Again, I'm just so pumped up and positive, and I'm really optimistic about where AEW is heading compared to where we were feeling about it 2 months ago. So a lot of things can change, and that's how the wrestling business is, and so you got to love it. But Jay White and Darby Allin setting up their match for next week. Jay White coming back more as a heel, which I love. What else we got going on? I think
you're going to see the return of Juice Robinson, and both of them will take Darby out.
Oh, I would love that. I miss Juice.
I think that's my thing, because he sort of asked that the young guns don't get involved, right? Like he's like, just me and you.
I think he meant I think he said everybody, didn't he? just me and you solo, I think he said. Was it, or just, did he specifically just say the guns?
Or maybe everybody, because that was after Jay White was offering him a chance of being into the Bang Bang Scissor Gang as Darby Scissorhands.
He does kind of look like Edward Scissorhands. It's like cousin or something. Very emo, a little dork. Just kidding. Love Darby Allin.
Thank you so much for watching High Spots and Cheap Pops. For Vladi Dottie, this is Silicon Steve Valley. Hit the subscribe button and let us know what you think. Thank you for watching, and here endeth the lesson.